I was actually a Rotarian in another state before I moved here, just briefly for about 2 years when I was the director of the YWCA, which I ran a huge battered women's shelter, and someone had recruited me. And this was in the late 80s when women had just been invited to join Rotary. So I was young and it was a bit intimidating. I will tell you, it was a 400 member club. But the values of Rotary always resonated with me. So when I moved to Nampa and my position was the director of the Nampa Civic Center, I had a lovely lady, June York, invited me to her Rotary meeting that day. And you know what? It was the best invitation ever. I actually joined in November of 2008. So it's been already a 12-year journey here with my Nampa Rotary Club. And again, the values of Rotary and the people are why I'm still engaged. A lot of Rotary experiences that have stretched me for a variety of reasons, but I think the one that I've had the most fun with so far and stretched me is being named a New Generations Chair, which is a new position in our district at the district level. And it's really to be an advocate and work with the Rotary Youth Exchange, the RILA Committee, Interactors, and Rotaractors, and really get a strong foundation throughout the district. And they all have great teams, but to be their advocate at the district level for both advocacy in terms of how do we best serve the youth in our district. And so that has probably been the most exciting. Is what I love about Rotary is meeting people literally from all over the world who at our core, we believe the same things. We may do things differently. We may have different faiths. We may have different politics, but at the end of the day, we're about serving humanity. Is there a favorite? No, but what I know is when you meet a Rotarian, you instantly have a connection, and we have fellowship around the world. And it is a group that I am proud to be a part of. The most exotic place I've traveled for Rotary is, fortunately, our club sends the incoming president to the club, to the international convention. And I was fortunate enough to go to Sao Paulo, Brazil. And this was immediately after our European tour in 2014. So it was going to be that next year in 2015. And my husband said, yeah, he's not a big city kind of guy. So I went by myself. Now, we were getting notices from RI to make sure that we don't travel alone, to make sure that we are really careful. Our plane got diverted from Sao Paulo to this little teeny airport because there was fog. I want to make the flag ceremony, and they're telling us don't get in a taxi by yourself. So what do? I look for fellow Rotarians. At the airport, I met these women. They go, we're going to hop in with us. We were a family the entire time. We explored the city, and I have friends. I still am in contact with them to this day. And so what I think I bring is the vision, the ability to walk people through the process of how to look at what they're trying to accomplish, set a goal, develop a plan, and get through that. And those are the things. And you do that by listening. You do that by finding out what the community truly needs. It's not about us going in and saying, this is what you need. It's about listening to what the community needs, wherever whether it's, a district grant, a global grant, what do they need? And really pay attention, and then figure out how, as Rotarians, we can collaborate with other community resources. So it's really about willingness to change, setting some priorities, and also collaborating. And we can be those champions for changing communities where we pull the people together. And really, I think that's what it can bring to the table. It's giving me hope that people are willing to sacrifice and do things and make a difference. And so I think that's how it's changed me, that I know there is a group of people that will come behind me or anyone else and say, yes, we can, instead of no, we can't. I've mentioned it a couple times, but really what resonates with me is the Rotary vision statement. And together we see the world where where people unite. The core values of fellowship, diversity, inclusion, integrity, all those things, service, leadership, those are my core values. And that Rotary is part of who I am, because what Rotary allows me to do is live out my core values with a group of people that believe the same things. But so I have two that I'm going to talk about that really changed me. And one is being a host mom of a Rotary Youth Exchange. And we had two amazing back-to-back Rotary Youth Exchange experiences. We now have a daughter in Spain and a son in Chile. And that was 5 and 6 years ago, and we're still in communication with them. And the second thing was I had the opportunity to go to the RILA conference a few years ago, and we did a project with Sleep in Heavenly Peace, and I was one of the chaperones to take RILArians out to distribute these bunk beds to a home. And in the one home we went to, we brought 2 sets of bunk beds, and we walked in the home, and the mom was there with her children, and there was barely any furniture, and the bedrooms were devoid of anything. And we built these 2 bunk beds, and the kids and put the sheets on them, and brought the quilts, and the impact, not only for the family that was getting it, was enormous, but the impact it had on those Rylarians, seeing someone whose life was much different than theirs, and the power of service. It just, I think, obviously led to the new service, new generations chair was in my heart because of those 2 separate experiences, but because I know one of our jobs as Rotarians is to mentor youth and really show people the diversity of the world, and then how we can impact people's lives.